Good morning from Lille. It's a very sunny and cold morning here in France, and couldn't be a better day to meet you all online and talk about your project websites. So, welcome to all of you who joined our training dedicated to the second call project. The ones who are implementing the second call project, the ones who will be administrating the project websites hosted by the Interreg Europe program. My name is Irma Strauskaite-Deni. I'm head of communication unit. And today, together with me in this webinar, you will meet also other colleagues from the communication unit. And also there are a few other colleagues who will help us to manage all your questions we receive via the chat. I see already Gianluca Lantini is asking to everyone, good morning from Milan from the project Inspire. Good morning. Good morning also, John and Brownie. It's really nice to see you that you are managing even two projects. Also, I would like to invite the others to post small messages in the chat here we have in the Zoom, and this is also the way for us to exchange with the other projects and other participants and also us. I mentioned already that this webinar is dedicated to the project website, and we are training you on how to update your project websites. Together with me in the studio, I have Julie. Good morning, Julie.
Good morning.
Julie, in our team, in our communication team, is the person who is managing all our beautiful and complex website, and is here today with us to train you about the website. Let's have a look together to what is waiting. What is waiting today? So today, as the content, we will cover communication requirements and principles. We will see how to start. We will talk about how to edit the project website, and we will also share some tips and videos. And Julie is here in the studio together with me to answer your questions live, and there will be several moments to ask those questions via the Slido. You go to the Slido and you enter Interreg Europe, and you have a specific place then where to submit your questions that we will be answering in the studio together with Julie. And for the other content we will be showing, we will be watching also some pre-recorded videos that are available on our website, and also the recording of this webinar will be available. So if someone from your project did not manage to join, you will be able to share this recording with them so that they can watch the recording or rewatch the recording and successfully know all the best tips and tricks how to edit your project and websites. Julie, we saw the agenda, but I think before we start the training, it would be also interesting to know how our project implementers are experienced with the editing website editing tools. Do they have any experience editing the websites? And we have prepared a poll. Now you should see a poll popping up on your screen, and please tell us if you have what experience you have. We have 4 answers on the screen. You can tell us that you have a lot of experience and you have been editing websites for a long time. You can also say that you have a little bit, you have some experience, but it's not your regular activity. You might have very little experience and have edited some websites few times, or you don't have any experience at all. So those are the 4 answers we suggest, and you should make your choice and tell us how much experience you have in editing websites. Julie, are you curious to know how experienced our participants are?
I'm very curious because every time we do this webinar, there are different, everyone has so many variety of experiences. And so we always get a few people who are very, very knowledgeable, but we always get quite a lot of people who have never done this before. And we always try and tell them, don't worry, it's very simple. We've made it as easy for you to use as possible. So I am very, very curious to see what we will get.
Then let's check what the results are from the poll. Yes, okay. You can see that it's probably similar, like during the other similar trainings we have organized. 22% say that they have a lot of experience editing for a long time. 45, so almost half, say that they know they did, but it's not the primarily activity. 22 say that very little, and 10% they say that they do not have any experience to edit the website.
Okay. I think we have a little bit of everything for everyone today. So for those who have a lot of experience, if they have any questions on how to do something a little bit more complicated, they can ask, and I will try to answer. And for those of you who have never had done this before, then don't worry. As I said, we've made the site as easy for you to use as possible. So you shouldn't be afraid. It should be fine.
Very good point, and congratulations for usually for all the work to be done and working with our website developers, because it's very true that the tool we have on our website to edit our websites, it's simple, straightforward. You don't need to have a lot of experience, I mean, to manage this tool. The most important to know the basics, and the basics we will be covering now. To start, we have 1 hour and a half ahead of us, and we all now know that if you have any website related questions you want to ask us live during this webinar, you head to Slido, you enter Interreg Europe hashtag, and you post your question, and we will be answering those. You also know that we have a chat also here in the Zoom, so you can also share your experiences about the presentations, or post a message to other participants if you have any additional tips to share with the others and have already experienced, or anything else you want to share. I think then with this information, we are ready to dive into the content of today's webinar, as it is the online training. And Julie, then I leave you first to present communication requirements. The basics, what are the communication requirements we need to know if we are in the role to edit the project website.
Yes, thank you, Irma. Yes, I did want to start briefly with communication requirements when they are relevant to your website, just to get everyone, a little bit refreshed. I mean, your application was a long time ago. So the first thing I want to talk about is the harmonization principle. So you're probably aware that Interreg Europe is part of a larger family of Interreg programs. And because of this, we've decided to adhere to what we call a harmonization principle. What does that mean? That means that our branding is trying as much as possible to follow the rest of the Interreg Europe family. And so for you, that means we've already provided you with your project visual, a logo. We've chosen your color, your branding for you. We've provided you with some icons. So this is all something you no longer have to think about. And it helps you fit in with not only the other Interreg programs, but also the wider Interreg family. The next thing the program has decided to do is to host your project website on our main website. The reason for this, there are many. Obviously, this is simplification for you. You don't have to spend any time developing your own. But again, this fits quite nicely into this harmonization principle. It also provides you with more visibility. We get the main Interreg Europe website is a very strong website. and we get a lot of traffic. And if by hosting your project website, it means that you will benefit from some of that traffic. If you want to find your website, you can find it easily by going to the approved project tab and searching by topic or just search all. So they're all there. And also by integrating your project website on our main website, this allows us to promote your news and events a little bit more effectively. So if you do have any big news or any large events that you need to reach out to a lot of people, you have some content that you think would benefit a wider community beyond your partnership, or maybe beyond your stakeholders, your usual stakeholders, you just please feel free to let us know, and we will do our best to help you promote those big news and big events. The next thing I wanted to discuss quickly is the required activities. There are not many required activities for your project website. The only thing that you need to remember is that you need to have a short description of your project, and the EU financial support on any of your partners' websites and social media accounts if they have any. And of course, you need to update your own website with content that is free to use by the program and the Commission every 6 months. So let me delve deeper into this next one, which is updating your website. As I've already mentioned, you need to do this at least every 6 months. So every time you have something to share through a news or an event, by updating your homepage, for example, to make it a little bit more user-friendly, this kind of content, please, this makes your project live online. We recommend that you update it with high quality visual content, basically more than just text. Images have say 100 words, so please use visuals. And talk about your activities. Talk about what you're doing within your partnership, what you're planning to do in your partnership. You could do interviews with your with your partners, with your stakeholders. Really, use this space to make your project live online. And then the next thing we really encourage you to do also is to focus on your achievements. Obviously, right now you've just started. You're not thinking about your achievements necessarily, but they will probably come sooner than you think. And so this is something to remember when there is something that is achieved, even if it is very small. It's a small milestone. Please share it, make it part of your website, tell your story. Next, yes. And then the final thing I want to really focus on is this copyright issue. We will drill this into you. This is very important. And so for any visual you use, whether it be images or videos, any content, even if it's, for example, a report that you've published that has images inside, you have to remember that the program and the European Commission will very likely go on your site, not ask you permission, and we have the right to use some of that content to just promote your project, promote your results. And so the visuals that you use, they have to be copyright free. They have to be royalty free, non-exclusive, irrevocable license. All the text is there. So what does that actually translate to? That means you cannot purchase a license for an image because those licenses generally come with conditions. They come with time conditions. They come with conditions about who can use them, how you can use them. And so if that, for example, if the time condition expires and your image is still in a study that is being circulated 5 years later, you are still liable for this. And so you could get in trouble in the long term. So how do you get around this? Obviously, the easiest way to get around this is by taking your own photos. During your events, hire a photographer, take pictures of your events. If you've come to any of our large events, you know that we do this and we reuse those images a lot. Maybe some of your partners have an affinity for photography. Why not go out and do a photo shoot Think of, what is the topic of your project? Could you do, a little photo shoot of maybe one of the labs, or maybe some mobility options? I remember a few years ago, the communication team went out in Lille and we did a photo shoot of, little signs on pavements and grass and also all these things. So think of creative ways to create visuals for your project. And I know that some of you are using AI already, and there, at the moment, there is no legal information about copyright there. So at the moment, we do accept it, but keep in mind that this is a very um, this is a situation that is very in flux, and things could change. So we always would recommend that you take your own images. So those are I think the requirements in a nutshell. Next, I want to quickly introduce you to the general principles of how the website works. And there are two principles for this. The first one is that each of you will have your own website. So each project has a website. All the layouts are the same. Again, ideas to be as harmonized and to look all as similar as possible, but you can tailor your website to your needs as well. So there is some flexibility there. They're built to be as easy to update as possible. And they are also designed for automation. So there's a lot of content there that is already filled in for you that you filled in somewhere else. And this is there to make your life easier. So where does this automation come from? It comes from the portal. And so when you filled in your application form, this would have been quite a long time ago now, you filled it in on the portal, which is our project monitoring system. You told us what your project was about. You told us how many partners were in your project and who they were. You told us how much budget you required, what policy instruments you were going to work on. All this information you've already given us. And so we've sent it over to your project website again to make your life a little bit easier so that you don't have to provide the information more than once. That also means that in some cases, if the information needs to be updated, it will have to be updated on the portal. But if it is updated on the portal, then the website will also update because both are connected and they work together. So again, saving you time. Then, right, so let's get started. I know that many of you are probably itching to get your hands dirty, as we say. So the first thing, the first step to getting started is to decide who will be responsible for editing your website. So these people, we call them website administrators or web admin for short. You can choose who you want. It's up to you. So you can have as many people editing your website as you want. We encourage you to share this responsibility among your partnerships. So don't just have one partner, for example, responsible for this. It's better to share the responsibility. Having said that, it's also better to limit the number of individuals who have access to editing the website, simply because the more people edit the site, the harder it becomes to track the changes. So if there's a change and you're not sure where it came from, so as a general rule, not a rule, but more as a recommendation from experience, I would say 3 to 4 people is generally enough. But we encourage you to share this responsibility with your partnership, so among your partnership. And then also important to know that the people who will be editing the website will need an account in the Interreg Europe community. Now, all of you have registered today, so in order to register to this event, you had to go through the registration process to the site, so all of you are members of the Interreg Europe community. Congratulations. And then finally, just to add that the web admin, the person who will be editing the site, is not just responsible for the website, but they will also be the people first in line to manage the good practices that your project partners identify and submit to our system. So they'll be the ones receiving the good practices and saying yes or no, this was identified as part of this project. And also they will be responsible for managing your own online community, which is something we'll discuss towards the end of this webinar. And I think that's it. Yep.
Thank you very much, Julie, for covering the main rules, the principles. I think now for everyone it's clear that by opting for a very harmonized approach, it's very easy to find our projects on the Interreg Europe's website. And also the big power is that your website is new, but as you are part of very strong and website which has a long history, Google very quickly will reference your website. So this is also one of the reasons why you should not delay and update very quickly the sections of your freshly created website. Julie, also another very important, I think, point you touched about the copyrights, and I think it's clear now for our project implementers that it's very important to think internally also how they will manage the internal communication flow and will share the responsibilities between the project partners and the ones who will be updating the project website. With this information and the great introduction you have done, I think it's good now to see practically how it works. So I think it's a good moment to invite everyone to watch our first video where we explain in practice how to get started with the website editing tool. I can also see that on the slide we have already one question. If you have more questions, please submit those via the Slido. We will be back in the studio with Julie and we will be answering those questions then live. So now let's watch the first video about how to get started with the project website editing.
How to assign your website administrator. The role of website administrator is assigned through the portal, which is our project monitoring system. This is where you created your project and where you will do all your reporting. Only the people with admin rights to your project can add a website administrator. And this is usually your lead partner, but it can be other people as well. So once you've identified who these people are, ask them to log into the portal and go to their dashboard. On there, they should find the project. Click to enter. Scroll down to the project users section. Here you should find a list of all the individuals in your project. Find the one who you want to make a website administrator. If that person is not on the list, simply add them. Once you've found the individual who will become your website administrator, click to enter. At the bottom, you can assign them the web admin role. And finally, click Save. It will take 1 to 2 days for the portal to sync with our website, which means that it'll take 1 to 2 days for you to get access to your website editing tool. Remember as well that you need to have an account in our Interreg Europe community in order to be a web admin. If you have any problems at all, just contact your communication officer. How to access your website's editing tool. Your project admin has gone into the portal and given you web admin rights. It's a few days for the portal and the website to sync. This means that you should be able to edit the website editing tool. But how do you find it? Well, there's one and two ways. The first one is directly from the Interreg Europe landing page, our homepage, interregeurope.eu. Once you arrive, simply log into your community account and select Project Websites. You will arrive on your project website dashboard, which will list all the projects you are allowed to edit. Simply click on the Edit Project button, and this will give you access to the editing tool. The second way you can access the tool is directly from your own project's page. So go to your project homepage by typing in our domain, interregeurope.eu/your acronym. Again, log into the community and the edit button will appear. You'll find this button on every page you want to edit. Simply click and access the editing tool. You're now ready to start adding information, so why not watch our next video on how to add information to your homepage.
So, Julie, in the first video we just watched, you explained very well that first, in order to access the editing tool, it's important that rights are well set in the portal. The second thing, I think we understood from the video that it's very, afterwards, you need to go on our on the landing page of Interreg Europe to log in into the community. And like this, you have an access right to edit to the editing tool and access to edit the project website. Those are two important things to remember. In the video, you also explained that the synchronization doesn't happen automatic. Could you remind me how much time does it take until, like, from the time we add the person on the portal until this person has an access?
Yes. So as Irma, as you say, it takes about 24 hours for the website to sync. So the reason for that is a technical one, but in case you're interested, you make the changes to the portal during the day, and then at night the website will call the portal and ask for any updates, and then the portal returns an answer with those updates. So it takes about 24 hours generally. So basically the next day you should be able to have access to your project website. If the next day you do not have access, you need to contact us immediately, because that means that something went wrong and we need to know to fix it. So 24 hours maximum.
Julie, thank you very much for clarifying this, and the message to our webinar participants and project implementers is also to think in advance who shall be the person who need to edit the project website, because as you realize there is this short delay. So if you say I need it now, immediately, tout de suite, like French would say, it doesn't work this way. You really need to plan that there is this time needed to synchronize the access rights. Let's have a look what questions we have on Slido. I see there is one question related to the upload of the images. About this we will talk about this we will talk later. So we will take this question after we provide the detailed guidance about it. And we have also another question asking about linking to the project. We will talk about it also. Later, but as it related to the accepting means, let's maybe tackle it already now. So, as the lead partner, I get requests from person's partners asking to become a member of your project, and just green. On the dashboard of the lead partner to accept. Question: does accepting mean they have a right to edit, or does it mean that we accept the person to be a member of the project? Maybe Julie, you could clarify that.
Yes, so that is a very interesting question, and yes, we will mention it briefly later. How to do this, how to accept people into your community, but I think this question is very interesting because these people that you accept do not have editing rights. They just form part of your project's online community. It just means that these people are part of your family. They might be a stakeholder, they might be a project partner, they might be someone who is particularly interested and impacted by your project, and you say that you want to welcome them, but they have no editing rights. They cannot make any changes to your site. So all that will happen is they will show up on your contacts page at the bottom under a section called People, which again just means they are part of your online community.
By the way, if you post a question on Slido, do not hesitate to add your name. It's always nice for us to know to whose question we are answering. Julie, thank you for clarifying that if you accept people to link to your project via the website, it does not give an access rights to website editing. Website editing, as you heard from the video we just watched, is given via the portal. The next question we have is about the copyrights. Is it possible to use royalty-free images taken from public collectors of images such as Pixels, Pixabay, FreePic, etc.?
Yes, that's also an interesting question. Those sites, a lot of people know them. They're an easy way to get images. You have to be really careful if you do go to those sites, because you have to make sure that the image is absolutely copyright free, has no license on it, that anyone can use it at any time for any purpose. So in a way you can go there, but I mean, the images that you will find, probably 100 other people have used them before. They're not very original. And so again, I would urge you to take your own images.
Okay, with this, I think we can then move forward and watch our second video with Julie, where you are explaining how to edit the homepage of the website. Indeed, it's the most important page of your project website, as it's a cover. It's really the first landing page everyone will be looking at. So it's very important to know how to edit and to what things to pay attention. So let's watch now the second video.
How to edit your homepage and add an image to the top banner. Your project homepage is really important. It shows people what your project is about and lets them know what you and your partners are doing. You should make it as engaging as possible by using images and videos, structuring your content with headers and bullet points, publishing interesting news and events, and most importantly, writing in plain English. The top banner of your website is equally as important because it's the first thing people will see. It shows your acronym, your project title, your topic, and your subtopic. All this information comes from the portal and you can't change it. But you can, however, add a striking image in the top banner. So to add an image, simply click on the edit button to access the editing tool. You'll arrive to the About the Project tab. So scroll down to the top banner section where you can see a Add Media button. Now, before you upload any image, make sure you comply with the program's copyright rules. Please don't upload an image you don't have permission to use. And we also suggest that you follow the guidance on width and size of the image. Now, to upload an image, start by clicking Add Media. Choose a file from your computer and fill in the metadata. This information is important because it makes the website more accessible to everyone, including those with disabilities. So please don't underestimate it. Under the alternative text, describe what you see in the image. In this case, I see a blonde woman from the back walking towards her colleagues inside a workshop. Next, give your image a title. For example, in this case, I will say raise project stakeholder at a social enterprise. When people will hover over the image with their mouse, this is what they will see. Next, describe who owns the image. This image belongs to the RAISE project. And give us their website. Finally, confirm that you have the right to use the image and that you grant Interreg Europe and the Commission the right to use it for communication purposes. Now, once you've ticked all that, click Save and Insert, and the image will appear under the top banner of your website. But you're not done yet. Don't forget to scroll down to the bottom and click Save Changes so that the changes take effect and you see them on your banner. How to edit your project summary. Your project summary describes what your project is about. It's the main introduction for your key target audience, so you should write it in a clear and straightforward way. To save you time, we've filled in this section for you with the information you provided in the portal. But remember that you wrote this description in your application form with the main purpose of getting your project approved. You wrote this text for us, the program. Now, you need to adjust it and describe your project to your main target audience. And that's not the program, at least not here on your website. So click the Edit button to access the editing tool and scroll down to the project summary section. Here you have the rich text editor functions. You can use them to make your text more engaging. Use the bold to highlight keywords, avoid italics because it's difficult to read, and avoid the underline because people think it's a link. If you do want to create a link, simply highlight the text, click the chain icon, add the URL, and a title to describe what the link does. This could be, for example, click to go to a new page, opens an external link, click to send an email, click to download. I also recommend you fill out the ARIA label. This helps people with assistive technology understand what the link does. So you can simply repeat what you see, what you've written above. And then when you're done, click Save. Use the bullet points and the numbered lists to make your content easier to scan. Remember that people don't read websites, they scan them looking for keywords and information. Use the copy and paste options to remove any formatting you might have picked up from a Word file, for example. And if you're feeling brave, you can click on the source, which gives you access to the HTML. You'll need this later on to add videos. But don't worry, we'll learn more about these functions when we're learning how to create news and events. And when you're done, don't forget to scroll all the way to the bottom and save your changes so that you can see them on your homepage. Creating a call to action. Call to action is a marketing term. It refers to an action you want your audience to take, like filling in a survey, downloading a report or a publication, or even registering to an event. It's usually written as a command or an action phrase and uses keywords like sign up, download, register, etc. It's really a great way to promote one piece of content over the others. On your homepage, you have the option to add one of call to action. And if you need it, simply scroll up to the top, click Edit this page to arrive to the website editing tool. On the About the Project tab, scroll down to the Call to Action section where you can fill in the required fields. Create a title, something short and catchy, but that immediately lets your audience know what the main subject is. An example could be, do you like our training videos? Next, describe what your content is about in 400 characters or less. So in keeping with my example above, I could write, we want to know what you think about our project website training videos. Are they too long? Too short? You tell us. Next, insert a link to the content you want to promote and write your call to action in a box below. My call to action is fill in the survey. This will appear as a blue button and will really encourage people to click. Finally, you can add an image and it's important because it's important to make your call to action stand out. But don't forget to comply with the copyright rules. So to add an image, simply click Add Media, choose a file from your computer or upload one from your media library and click Insert. Before you finish, remember to scroll down and save your changes. And there you go. Your call to action is now ready to attract attention. What will this project change? Your audience might be interested in knowing what impact your project will have on them, their friends and family, and everyone else who lives in their region. So describing the impact your project will have on the policies and lives of the people in the regions is a great way not only to promote your project, but also to engage with the people whose lives you're trying to improve. So if you wish, you can describe the impact in 1,000 characters or less. Use the options on the rich text editing field to structure your content. Use the bold key to highlight keywords. Use the links to link to external content. Use lists, numbers, or bullet points to make your text easier to scan, and also use the formatting options to remove any unnecessary formatting. These are just some of the options you have available to you. So go ahead and be creative. And then when you're done, simply scroll to the bottom and click Save Changes. Promoting your newsletter and social media channels. Do you have a newsletter to push your project, its events and achievements? Even though we don't provide you with one, we've still made it easy for you to get people to sign up to your newsletter through this call to action on our project website. To fill in the information, scroll up to the top of the page and click the Edit button. This will give you access to the website editing tool. Once on the About the Project tab, scroll down and you'll find the newsletter section. Insert the link to your sign-up form and click Save Changes. This will automatically make the newsletter call to action banner show up on your homepage. But what about your social media channels? Is your project on Facebook, Twitter, or LinkedIn? Do you have a YouTube account for your videos? Are you reaching younger generations on Instagram? Well, you can promote them on your website. You have to go to your social media profile pages. So your project's Facebook page, your project's Twitter. Insert the link from your internet browser into the relevant field. For LinkedIn, you need to share the company page link. To find this, you go to your LinkedIn company profile. On the left, under your icon and number of followers, you'll find a Share Page button. Click the Share Page button and copy the link. You'll find also step-by-step instructions in our user manual. And finally, does your project regularly use the same hashtag? We use Europe Cooperates, for example. You can write it here for everyone to see. And when you're done, don't forget to click Save Changes to apply the change and see the banner on your homepage. You're now ready to get social.
Julie, thank you very much for guiding us in this video and showing how to update the project landing page. I think now it's clear for everyone that all the tools are there. It's everything is in their hands. You showed us very nicely that different options can be used for the text editing, making the text bold, using the bullet points, also uploading the photos to make this page as attractive as possible, also an opportunity to embed the videos, etc. So it's really now on the side of our project implementers to use those tips and to use the tool to update the landing page. In the video, you also talked that for some specific things, for example, linking, taking the link or linking a page with a LinkedIn, that there is more information in the user-specific guidelines. Do you where it's possible to find this guidelines?
Yes, so we've produced a user manual because we know that some people like to follow written instructions. So we've produced a written document to help people edit their site. We call it, I think, the project website user manual. People can find it on our website. We have a help center with all these tutorials and all the relevant documents, so including this user manual. So on our website, on our landing page, if you go to the top of the screen, there's a help and contact menu, and under the help section, there's a button called Help Center, and that's where you will find all the tutorials and all the manuals that we talk about today.
Mm-hmm. Julie, we also got a question about the social media sites because we saw it very well that there was Facebook, the LinkedIn, Instagram on the list. So the question is, are those social media sites shown on the website the only ones that are allowed to use the project implementation? If so, TikTok is not allowed.
It's not that TikTok is not allowed. It's just that we did not have any projects that do have a TikTok account. So if you do have a TikTok account, let us know. But the ones that we've chosen are the sites that are the majority of the projects use. So it's not a statement on allowed or not. It's just yes, the majority. We had to make a choice. Having said that, I know that there are ongoing discussions with the Commission about TikTok, and so you do need to keep that in mind. If you choose to have a TikTok video, the program will follow any directive that the European Commission provides us.
We have a question about the social media banner asset. It's not related to our website, but I think it's important we take this question and answer. And the project partner refers to the folders we have shared with them, where we provide all information and documents to the project poster, to the soon to the project logo, and also the all other templates we are sharing. So they tell us that they could not find the banner image in the photo file.
Okay. I mean, I believe it was there, so I think we will have to have a look. Thank you for pointing that out. We will investigate that as soon as possible, and if we find that it's missing, we will add it.
Yeah.
But normally, you should find all the tools that all the templates that we provide under your project acronym in the in the shared folder under visuals. So
Indeed, Julie, under the shared folder, specific folder we share with the project, there are several folders we have created. Like the first one is dedicated to the branding. The second one, we have here all project logos. We have one for the project poster, for the billboard template, for the PowerPoint, social media, maps, even documents, web analytics, and other. And then you have the specific folders under your acronym. Under your acronym, you will find in your folder only your poster, and soon as it's created, and the visual. But social media templates, you need to look into specific folder, which is numbered 6, and there you will see the templates you can afterwards use. Catherine is asking us, does Interreg, I suppose Interreg Europe, have a suggestion? Does Interreg Europe have a suggestion which newsletter provider should be used?
That's an interesting question. I mean, the program uses MailChimp, but we don't have any prescribed or any recommendation as to what tool you should use. I think the only thing you should think about is to make sure that the tool you're using is GDPR compliant. But as to a recommendation, no, you're free to use whatever tool you wish.
Having answered this, I think it's the right time now to move forward and to watch our next video, which is about how to create news and events on on your project website. So let's watch this video, and then we will be back with Julie to answer your questions.
Creating a news article. You can promote the latest news on your website to let your target audience know what is happening in your project. Go to the website editing tool and click on the News tab. From here, you'll see all the articles your project has published in the past. You can add news, edit it, or delete it. Click the Add News button to create new content. Once you're here, fill out all the required fields. Start with your title. Make it short and catchy, but informative. Next, add a cover image to make your article stand out. It means that people are much more likely to click on it. Select Add Media, choose a file from your computer or one from your media library. Don't forget to comply with the copyright rules. In the summary box, write a short description of what your article is about. This will appear on the promotional card. In the content field, insert your main text. Use the rich text editor tools to structure your content. We've already seen bold, links, lists, and all the copy and paste options. But you can also use quotes, images, tables, horizontal lines, headers, and videos. Let's see how they work. To add a quote, simply type your quote and click on the icon. To add an image, click the media icon, choose a file from your computer or one from the media library. If you wish to add text underneath the image, hover over the bottom until you see this little red square. Click on it, and then you can type some more. To add a table, click on the table icon, choose how many rows and columns you want, and click OK. Then you can start to add your content. Use the horizontal line to split your content, and use the headers to structure it and make things easier to find. Simply select the text and choose the size. To add a video, click on the source code to access the HTML. Go to your online video channel like YouTube or Vimeo. Find the video you want to embed. Click the Share button and select the Embed option. It will give you an embed code which you need to copy and paste into this content field. It should look something like this. Once you've added the embed code, simply click the source button again, and your video will appear. When you've structured your content in a way that makes it easy to read, scroll down to add a few tags. Tags are a way to categorize and group your content. In the long run, it makes it easier to find when people search using keywords. Start typing keywords into the tag field and see what results come up. We do have about 400 tags in the system, so try a few different variations. For example, if you cannot find the word bike, you could try cycle. If you cannot find the word train, you can try rail. We recommend you add no more than 10 tags per article. If you find that an important keyword is missing from the list and you think it could be useful to you and others, please let your communication officer know. Finally, select today's date and click Save Changes. Congratulations, you've published your first news. Creating an event article. Imagine you have a stakeholder meeting coming up in a few months, and you need to know how many people are coming so you can book a large enough meeting room and order enough sandwiches. Instead of adding a news article to promote your meeting, why not create an event article? This is because the template is specifically designed to give people the practical information they need to attend. So what is an event? We consider an event an activity that is usually set in time on a specific day or over several days, is location-based, for example, at a specific venue, online, or maybe both, and could have a registration process or might be open to all. If you want to add an event, go to the website editing tool. Next, click the Event tab. This is your event dashboard. Here you'll have all the events that your project has created in the past. From here, you can add an event, edit an existing one, or delete one. To add an event, click Add Event and fill out all the required fields. Start with your title, make it short and catchy, but informative. Next, add a cover image to make your article stand out. Click the Add Media button, choose a file from your computer or one from your media library. And don't forget to comply with the copyright rules. Next, add the date of your event. So open the calendar, select the date, select the start time and the end time. If the event is held over many days, you can click the multi-day event box, and then you add the start time, the start date with the start time, the end date with the end time. Afterwards, we ask you for a bit more details about the event itself. Is it in person, at a specific venue, online, or is it both? If the event is in person, put in the address of the venue. Do you have a registration form for people to fill in? If yes, you can add the link here. What about an additional website where you have a lot more information about the event itself? If you have one of those, you can add the link here. This is where you create the button that goes with the event website. And the content box is where you put your main article. Use the rich text editor tools to structure your content. To find out how to use these tools, please watch our video on creating a news article. Next, add tags to your article to make it easier to find. Simply start typing keywords and click to select. Try not to use more than 10 in one article. If you want additional tags, contact your communication officer. Finally, if there is someone people should contact with questions about the event, add their name, phone number, and email. Remember to comply with GDPR requirements and get their consent first. Last but not least, click Save Changes. Congratulations. Now everyone will come to your meeting.
We advanced very well, and now you know how to create news and events on your project website. Let's have a look, Julie, to the questions we received via Slido. There is someone, I don't know the name because the name is not written, who is waiting to the answer to the question for a very long time, also from the beginning of this webinar. So we will take this question the first. And the question is why it is not possible to delete uploaded images in the event section.
Yes, so if you watch the video closely, you notice that as someone is creating an event and probably a news as well, they can upload a media a file. And so they can either upload it from their computer or choose it from their media library. But if you may have noticed that if you select something from your media library, you cannot delete it from the media library. This is simply because we've not gotten around to adding a delete button. And so we're very sorry about this, but I have taken note of it, and I will make sure that you can remove pictures in the future as well. We're always making improvements, and thanks to you for letting us know if something's not working or if you have any suggestions on how we can improve the site. We're always glad to hear from you. So I've taken note of that one. And yes, thank you very much.
You said it right, Julie. If sometimes on our website we have bugs, and you are the ones who also help us to identify those bugs. So if you see something like this, you should not hesitate to send us an email, and we will look into the case to see bug, not bug, and can jointly advise you how to find a solution. All will take actions on our side how to fix it. Now, about the photos, we talked about it already, and the question is, do you suggest that our photo for the poster, it's taken by us? Indeed, very often our projects, what we notice that they use the same visual for the website, for the photo, elsewhere as the main image. That also helps to harmonize different communication tools they are producing. So yes, Julie, do we suggest that the photo should be original?
The short answer to this is yes. We highly recommend that you take an original photo and that you take it yourself, or that you hire someone to take the photo and give you all rights. Again, because this is the only way you can be 100% sure that no one can come back to you and say you've used the photo incorrectly. We're now currently producing the posters. We've received a lot of images from your project. If you want to change the image, you still have time, but you need to act now and get in touch with us as soon as possible.
We talked in the video, one of the videos, about the newsletter, and the question is, when creating the form for the newsletter for terms and conditions, can we connect and link to the Interreg Europe's legal notice and privacy policy, or do we create our legal policy since the websites are linked? Could you clarify this, Julie?
Yes. So I mean, the Interreg Europe legal policy and privacy notice deals with the entirety of the site, but the project partners are responsible for the content that they put on their own website. And so the link, the space that we provide you for the newsletter is only a link to a registration form or to perhaps another form, and so the partners are responsible for that. So I think you should probably link it to your own privacy setting rather than rely on ours, because the partners are responsible for their own content.
Yeah. I think you explained it really well, that knowing globally it's a big website, so we are responsible on the legal rights of the whole website, but it's the lead partner's responsibility to make sure, and it's clearly written also in our specific rules, that it's the lead partner who is responsible for the content, bears the legal responsibility for the content of the project website. So you need to pay attention to that, and that's why it's also important that it's you agree and pay attention that all the photos you are publishing are copyright free, that you are not stealing content from somewhere else, but it's your original content you are publishing on your project website. And when it's related to your newsletter, which is an external, for us, it's more an external. It means it's just the link we are sharing for your newsletter. You need to create the legal, your policy by yourself, and link it then with your newsletter, because it also will depend on the tool you are using. About the social media accounts, someone is asking us, creating project social account does not bring visibility. You have to attract an audience that you already have in your company account. Would it be better to use the social accounts of project partners to reach interesting stakeholders? If so, how do you get all the posts into the project website?
Thanks, Irma. That's actually quite an interesting question. It's very true that if you start a social media account specifically for your project, that you have to build an audience, and that can be quite challenging. And so we do have quite a lot of projects who choose to use their partners' social media accounts, existing ones instead, because the audience is already there. And that's fine. That's up to the partnership to decide. You're the ones who know your audience, the people you speak to, and so you know best basically what is better for your particular situation. And I guess if you were dealing with multiple partners and multiple accounts, we only, as you saw, we only provide space for one. So I think it will just have to decide which ones you use, unfortunately. You could potentially create an extra page. We will see how to do that later, where you could talk about your additional social media accounts. But it's also probably a good thing not to overwhelm people with too much information, and maybe choose one that is more prevalent than the rest.
Yeah, Julie, in the past, indeed, we have seen that also when is the case, okay, which institution, it's not then related really to the project, this account, it's kind of an institutional account. So in such cases, also projects do not fill the specific part. Some projects, as you mentioned, add create an extra page. Also in the contacts, indeed, the then social institutional contacts like the social media accounts can be then linked. It's up to you to think what would be the smart way to have to, if you opt for this approach. And as you explained, there are several options on our website. Very good question. The next one we will take about the time for announcing events, because we see that on the website it indicates Central European time used announcing events.
Yes, I think that this is correct, because basically because the site is centralized, we had to make a decision, and so yes, I think the answer to that is correct. It does use Central European time and Central European summertime to announce the events.
Now the question of Leah. Leah, thank you very much for putting your name in. So we are answering your question now. Would you suggest to use event section also for partner meetings or only for public events?
Again, I would tell you that you know best. If you think that the event tool will be useful to you to maybe keep your partners informed, and help you maybe manage the registration and who is coming to this event, then please do use the tool. There's no requirement on our part that you put the partner meetings there. Of course, you will be reporting to your policy officer, so it might be easier for them to know, to be able to confirm that the number of meetings you've had if they are mentioned on your website, but the program does not have any requirements for that. And if you have any public events where maybe you need help to get more people to come, please let us know, and it will be happy to try and help you promote that event as well.
Julie, I see the question. The next question we have indeed is the answer is in the next video. So let's, I would say, watch the next video, and then we will be back and we'll answer to this question as well. And our next video is the last video we will be watching today. It's about extra pages that can be created, that extra pages we have on the project website, like library, extra pages, the policy instruments, context. So let's watch the last video, and with this we will have a complete indeed information on how to manage the project website.
How to edit your policy instruments and pilot actions. Your project website lists all the policy instruments you and your partners are tackling, as well as your project's pilot actions, if any. The information comes from the application form you filled in on the portal. You can edit the description of your policy instrument and your pilot actions to make them easier for your target audience to understand. To edit the description, go to the website editing tool. Find the policy instrument you wish to edit and update the information in the text box. Use the rich text editor tools to make your information more accessible and easier to read. Once you are done, scroll to the bottom of the page and save your changes. If you have any pilot actions, you will find them under the Pilot Action tab. Locate the pilot action you wish to edit and click Edit. Similarly, use the Rich Text Editor tool to update the content inside the description and make it easier for people to read. Once you are done, press Save Changes. If one of your pilot actions is missing, or if you need to update the title of your policy instruments, please contact your policy officer for advice. And don't forget to include the lead partner of your project in the email. How to add files and folders to your project library. You can add all the files you wish to share with your target audience on your project website. You can also organize them into folders. To create your project library, go to your website editing tool. Start by writing a short introduction to let your audience know what your library will contain. If you wish to organize your library into folders, create your folder first. It will be easier to add the file inside. To create a folder, click Add a new folder. Give your folder a name, something meaningful. Write a short description so your audience knows what the folder contains. And select a few relevant file tags. To finish, click Add Folder. Now you can upload files into the folder. To do this, click Add File. Again, give your file a name, something meaningful. Select the correct folder in which you would like to place your file. If you choose at the root of the library, your file will be outside of any folder. Select
make sure you have the copyright to use the image. If you wish to upload a video, you will need to add the link to your streaming platform like YouTube or Vimeo. To add a file, click Add Media. Upload a file from your computer or choose one from your media library. Once you're done, click Upload, and the file has been uploaded to your folder. To finish, click Save Changes. Your file is now, and the folder is now on your library. Remember that your project library will only appear once you upload your first file. And please take care of limiting the size of the files you upload. If you have any questions, please contact your communication officer. How to edit the contacts on your project website. The contacts page on your project website lists all the partners in your project and their contact information. This is to help people get in touch with you if they have any questions about the project. This information is shared between the website and the portal, and each partner is responsible for keeping their own contact information up to date. On the website, a person can edit their organization profile by going to their community menu and clicking Edit. From here, they can update their managing authority status, upload a logo, change the size of the organization, choose a region type, provide a description, social media profiles, and the website. Once you're done, click Save. You'll notice below every other person who has the authority to make the same changes as you. You will notice, however, that you cannot change the name of your organization on the website. If you need to make minor corrections or fix a typo in the name of your organization, please go to the portal. From here, you can find your project, scroll down to your application form where you will find yourself as partner or lead partner. Under the Details tab, please find the button called I want to change the partner name. From here, you can make a simple name change, fix a typo, or perhaps minor corrections. Simply make the change and click Save. If you wish to choose the contact person for the lead partner, scroll down to the project user section, choose the lead partner, and add their role as contact person. Once that's done, click Save. If you need to make more significant changes to your partnership, for example, informing us of a legal succession or a change of partner, please get in touch with your lead partner and your policy officer. How to create extra pages on your project website. The program has provided the same 6 pages to all project websites: the homepage, the news and events section, the policy instruments and pilot actions, the library, the contacts page, and the good practice section, which appears when you publish good practices. But you might need or want to create additional pages specific to your project. The website editor tool allows you to create 2 additional pages and fill them in with your own content. To create these additional pages, go to the website editor tool. Once here, locate the Extra Pages tab. You should have 2 drafts unpublished pages to start from. To create your first additional page, click the Edit button. Start with the menu title. This should be short and clear. Next, create the title for your page. Usually, this is the same as your menu title. However, it could differ if your page title was very long. Next, add content to your page. Use the rich text editor tools to vary the style and make your page more interesting. Once you are done, publish the page on your website and save the changes.
Welcome back to the studio. So as promised, now you know how to edit our project websites, and we are back with Julie in the studio to answer your questions. But before we do that, Julie, at the very beginning, we got a question about managing the online community, and the question was related indeed about projects that people that express a wish to link their profiles with the project. Could you maybe explain us what is this and how precisely it works?
Yes. So if you are the web admin for your project, you may receive notifications that someone is trying to join your project on the website. What does that mean? Basically, that means that someone joined our online community and we asked them, are you part of a project? And they said yes. And they said that they were part of your project. So as web admin, you receive a notification that asks you to either approve or refuse this person as part of your online community. So on the contacts tab in your editing tool, there will be little cards where you will see the profile of this person. You can click on them to find out more about who this person is, and then you can either approve or refuse them. And what will happen is they will show up on your project website under the contact tab under people, and they basically are your online community. So they could be your stakeholders, they could be your project partners, and it's up to you to choose who you feel deserves to be part of your project.
Julie, you were talking about the cards, and I would like to ask my colleagues to show in the slide how those cards look like, because I think it's good to know. We have prepared a slide about managing the community network, and we can see on the slide, if we can put it on the screen, to show you how those cards look like, if that's possible. If that's possible to change from the Slido to the community, yes, network. Yes, so you can see now on the screen what Julie explained, that there are the cards where you push on the buttons approve member or refuse, or you can also send invitations yourself. So I think now you know how to manage this process. Anything else to add on this, Julie?
No, just feel free to invite anyone you think is relevant and grow your online community. Of course, the more people are connected to your project, the more alive your project page will look, and the more alive your online community will feel.
Okay, then we can check what questions we have on the Slido, and this is the last part of our webinar. After answering the questions, we will provide you a few more tips and present what is upcoming from the program, and after this we will then finish our webinar. So before that, let's check what questions we have. We will take a question of Tommy, who is asking, is the frequency of updates of the website monitored, and what are the instructions on that?
Yes, so you are required to update your project website at least every 6 months. And it is monitored in that the communication team will go through your project website in about 6 months' time to make sure that well, to see if you have edited it, but more importantly to see how you've done it and maybe to help you improve. So we will be going through it and giving you some tips on how to make your content more engaging. And of course, when you report on your activities, your policy officers and your finance officers do check your project websites to get more information about what you're referring to in your reports. So the sites are frequently used.
Someone is asking, how can you link the project partner institutional websites to the project website?
Yes, so I think what we saw in the video that all the partners and all their institutional profiles are automatically linked to your project page through the portal. And so in each institution, there will be a community member, and that community member can edit the organization profile and add the websites of the institutions. That's the easiest way to do it. So if you don't remember how, I would just invite you to rewatch the video on on updating your contact page. It's on our website, and I think my colleague can probably give a link directly to the chat, in the chat.
We have a question. Is it clever to include a link to registration to a partner meeting in an event? This would make it possible for everyone to register. This question was already answered online. The same as the next question about the language. If we are going to communicate through social media institutional accounts, what language should be used? But maybe it's just good also to remind to everyone that official program language is English, and this is the language we would expect you are using at your project's website. When it's related to the social media institutional accounts, our project partners follow the institutional then rules apply in terms of the language use. We can go to the other then questions. Do the good practices descriptions go in the library?
That's a really good question, and the answer is no. There is a special tab in the website editing tool for good practices where you can upload the good practices you and your partners identify over the course of the next few years. There will be a specific webinar on this in the coming months, probably later this year, hopefully. So I will invite you to join that when you can. But the answer is no, there's a specific section on your project website for good practices.
The next question, maybe it's not a question, more a recommendation, is about the map. Would it be possible to make Europe map a bit smaller so the northern countries are showing up well when you first open the contacts page? I think Julie takes a note of this, and we will look into to see, or maybe usually you know the answer.
I completely agree with this person, and it's actually quite timely because just last week I was looking at the project websites and thinking, this map is a bit too zoomed in, and I just asked our web developers to zoom out, and so that change should be available this week on the site. So it will be zoomed out already. So yes.
It's we have good news indeed for this, and I think it's always good to see that our sometimes our thoughts match your thoughts. So it's yeah, and as you see, we already we were concerned, and we are also fixing some things. We have other question. When people are members of the project website, will they get push messages or mails when something new is posted by the project?
That is a really good suggestion. I might write that one down. So the answer to that is no, not at the moment. If you have any things to push to your partners and your stakeholders or anyone who's interested in your project, a newsletter is always a good way to do that, or maybe your social media. But the idea is really interesting, and yes, I might keep that in mind, and could be an interesting suggestion. Thank you.
There is also someone asking, is there any prepared Excel file to tackle the press releases of project partners? I can feel that this person was involved in our previous programming period in the projects, where the program was monitoring the press releases, and projects had to prepare an Excel file to report about this. So it's not longer relevant for this programming period. So there's no requirement, no Excel file to tackle the press releases. But if you wish to do it on your own, you can do it. But on the program level, it doesn't exist anymore. I think with this, Julie, I have very good news for you. We answered all questions on this Slido, and it's time to thank you for this, for being here with me in the studio, for answering the questions. Also, it's time to share then the last tips with about where to find further help and tips. So maybe you could explain us where to look for further help and tips.
Yes, of course. I left too early. Yes, so there are a few places you can find some advice on how to edit the site. When you are inside the web editor tool, there's a button at the top that says Help and Tips. If you click on that, there's a side panel that opens up with a lot of the step-by-step instructions that I gave in the videos. We've also have a user manual which which is available on our site under the in our help center under the recommended documents, and I'm hoping my colleagues will share a link to that in the chat. We also have a guide on how to write for the web, which is very important. I recommend you read this because writing for websites is not the same as writing for any other media. So there are some tips and tricks that we give in there. I've already mentioned the Help Center, and all the videos you saw today are available as standalone videos in that Help Center.
That's, I think, a really good overview, and you can see that we have many support tools available, and after this webinar you can use it, and we are also always ready to help you in case you have any questions related to your project website. As you know, each project at our secretariat has 3 reference people: the policy officer, the finance officer, and communication officer. And communication officer is the person who would be then supporting and answering, supporting you in case if you have questions related to your project website. Julie, it's really now time to thank to you for answering all those questions, for being with me in the studio. I would also like to thank to my communication colleagues Petra, Marie, Hannah, and Amandine, who were there with us to manage technical side of this webinar, to answer questions in the chat, and also to thank to Diane and Segolen from the finance and project team, who were also today with us to see if they can support us answering questions also in written. Now on your screen, you can see a quick form to give us feedback on this webinar. So do not hesitate to give us feedback and tell us how did you like our webinar, and how did you find it useful. And also, if you have any suggestions of recommendations for the next editions of this webinar, please share it in the comments block, so that we can take it on board. We really appreciate and value the feedback provided by our event participants. With this, the last dates to give you to present what is upcoming for you project implementers: 24th and 26th September in Lille. It's to be, it's like 90% correct, because we are contracting the venue now. We will have workshops for project implementer, second call projects. There will be a day on the finances, the day of project activities, and also a day about the communication. So please book those dates in your agenda. The next, what is coming, there are several events organized by our policy learning platform. On the 30th of April, there is a webinar on bio-waste. If it is the project that is of your interest, you can head to our website and register to this webinar. And on 27th of June, we will organize a meetup of the policy learning platform with the projects, lead partners and project partners, to explain in details what is the Interreg Europe's policy learning platform and how you can get involved, what are the activities, and how you can bet till maximum from our policy learning services, the second pillar of the program. There are also thematic workshops organized by the policy learning that are happening on the 22nd, 23rd, 29th, and the 5th of June on 4 different topics, as you see on the agenda. Normally, if your project is concerned and related to those topics, you already received invitation by email. Now today, I would like to encourage you, if you know that you will be going and attending those thematic workshops, you should not wait till the last minute, but click on the link to register so that you can ensure your place. And policy learning platform team will be looking to meet the projects that work on similar topics, so that they can exchange and further dive into those 4 very interesting topics. And also there will be a study visits organized, so it's a very, very good opportunity to meet other project partners, and also to learn from the knowledge and to get inspiration available from the spot. With this information, it's indeed the end of our webinar of today. I see on the chat there was a question. If this webinar is recorded and recording will be available. The answer is yes. All recording of this webinar will be available. Also, the other material we share today will be published on our website. Julie already mentioned that the videos we were watching today can be also watched individually. Can be watched individually and are published on our website. So all the material you saw today is available, and you can check it again when it's the right time, when you feel that you need more information. Cleo is saying that we need also the PowerPoint to present some slides to the partners. We have no issues with that. Also, the presentation will be shared with you, so you can extract this information and then include it in your presentations to present it to your project partners. Also, a recommendation maybe to give, because maybe today there were some lead partners joining our webinar, and after this you realize that not everyone is yet included in the list of the web admin, so you need to do specific actions on the portal. There might be some people that will be changing and joining as web admins in the later stages of your project. So it's always then good if you have such new people joining. It's always very useful to share the webinar recording of today, and also all the supporting material we have with them, so that they can watch and understand what is the process editing the project websites. I would say it's our all collective responsibility to update the information, to talk about what are the achievements of the projects. Why I say collective? Because you do it individually, but the program success depends on your performance and on the work you do. So so this is very, I think, important piece of information to you, to contribute to that. If we believe that Interreg Europe should exist, if Interreg Europe is it's a useful program and we want to have it in the future. And by the way, with this, one more important thing for you to remind, that the program launched the survey on post 27. It's the survey about to collect your thoughts about the future of the Interreg Europe program. And if you haven't, normally you already received information about it. If you haven't answered to this survey, it's also a time for you to react and answer to the survey, so that you can contribute and express your ideas, what program you wish after 2027, when the new programming period will start. With this, we are ready to finish this webinar. I would like to thank you to all, to everyone who was involved in organization of this webinar, and also to all of you very active participants of today. And it's time to wish you a good day and good luck editing your project websites.